You're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast. Fights, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at TheSlowRidePod. Enjoy the ride.
Hello and welcome to the 240th episode of the Slow Ride Podcast. This is Tim in Orlando, Florida.
This is Matt, buried in snow in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And this is Spencer in Boston, Massachusetts, where I guess it's just kind of rainy, but nobody cares about the weather. What's going on, you guys?
What? Wait, really? What?
What?
Oh my God, Spencer, you know what's going on?
What's going on?
Preseason racing. So much preseason racing. You love preseason racing, don't you?
I can't get enough.
Just can't get enough.
It's solid form checks everywhere. Everywhere. Form checks.
Yeah, I know. And I
It's a
haven't
lot.
been paying much attention, but from what I can tell, Astana's in form and no one else is.
No, I'll tell you who's in form. I'll
yeah.
tell you. Stop. The Trek women's team is completely in form right now. And you guys have heard me talk about one particular name over the years nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
And last year she was on Cervella Bigla, and then she got signed over to the Trek women's team. And not only does she have the greatest national champion jersey in the professional peloton, men or women, being the Finnish national road champion, Lotta Lepisto.
Yeah. I think you nailed that probably.
Lotta Lepisto.
Ooh, I like that.
Don't keep trying. I think
No,
I think the first time.
give it another
Just-
one. I want to hear it.
Oh, yeah, sure. go
Lotta
again.
Lepizzo.
Okay.
Either way,
No.
it's probably the first. I'm just gonna say Lotta, the Finnish national road champion, who has had a ton of close calls in the last 2 or 3 years. Right, like she's always been on the podium at the big races, racing for the much smaller Cervella Bigla team. Now she is on basically the New York Yankees of women's World Tour racing. So she has the team now behind her, or in front of her, leading her out. And she won 2 stages over this past weekend at the Valencia race. And it's pretty awesome. I'm just going to throw it out there that I said when she got signed to Trek on the podcast, maybe like 20 episodes ago, this was the biggest off-season signing. And I'm being proven right. So if you guys just want to contribute some dollars to my fund, that would be awesome.
Well, is that how it works? I was just going to say, good job, Tim. Way to notice something.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I just want to point out that Trek is killing it, but it's really because of Lotta, and it's awesome.
Oh, it's true. Those are
Okay,
big wins.
so now you guys can get back to your preseason racing on the men's side, I guess, with Astana.
Well, it's not just Astana. I mean, Oman, there's been a lot of bike racing.
Look, I want you to try that one again. I'm sure Spencer's going to fix this one in post. Okay, let's do that again, Dad. Come on.
Oman, there's been a lot of bike racing this last week, you guys.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow. Well
yeah.
done.
There really has
Oh,
been.
yeah.
Man,
Jeez.
indeed.
So we had the Volta Algarve.
Yep.
We had the Ruta del Sol. We had the Tour Cycliste International de Haute Var. And then supposedly in Turkey there was some race called Tour de Antalya or some crap.
And that's
Matthew
the one you
Vanderpoel was
definitely
at.
want to talk about.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to talk about a lot of these because 2 guys won who haven't won for a while, who are going to be on the start list next week at Umloop, and we're going to be cheering for it, which is Stivar won a stage at Algarve, and then Sepp Van Mark, who hadn't won in like forever, won the first stage of the Hood Var, or
Wow.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see those 2 guys coming into some form, especially with I kind of didn't know who was going to be the leader at the Quick Step team at this point for the classic. Maybe
are you
Stivar's
still-
asserting himself.
it's not going to
you
be
know?
Steve R.
Well, I mean, he laid down a little marker there. He won on an uphill finish too. So,
Little guy, were you stoked that Team Quick Step won this past weekend?
I mean, I don't really care, but I like Stibar.
So
I like Stebar too. I wish he was on a different team.
I
now.
saw some stat floating around, and I don't have it in front of me, of course. But it was something like wins this year on the men's side was like 11 or 12 to Astana and like 10 to Quickstep, and like basically 1 or 2 to everybody else.
Yeah, Astana's so Fugelsang won the overall at Route des Sols because they basically Astana has to win a stage race every week now. I think it's the law.
Okay.
Yeah, so they did that with him. That was the thing. But I mean, yeah, I don't know.
So does this bode well for them, or are they just trying to mop up these points early in the season because they're going to fade hard later?
It could. The fade could. Realistically, the fade starts next week when we head to the Cobbled Classics, and I don't know who from their team is leading the charge at that point.
Did you say next week?
Yeah, let's dumb this down.
The big deal
for real quick.
Jesus,
like there's a lot of racing going on, but really, bike racing starts next week with the Cobbled Classic Umloop Het Nieuwsblad, which is also a cool race because there's a women's version as well on the same day, which is pretty cool. So let's not discount that. So you have kind of the launch of real racing, not this preseason racing that little guy is getting excited about.
It's been good, though. It's been good racing.
Sure. But everything is leading up to Umloop. Yep. And little guy, you're saying that Stebar is looking pretty good because he won a race in Portugal this past weekend.
Yeah, Stebar's looking good. Trenton won 2 races in the last week. So, and he's a guy I think people kind of forget about for those classics, but he has been there in the past in the front group and not quite made the cut, but like the form is there right now. Yeah. That's we don't think about Mitchell and Scott being there for those races, but
for any reason.
It seems like it could be happening next week.
And then other winners, we had a Pinot win.
Yeah.
Yeah. GC and a stage.
So Pinot wins a little mini stage race. I don't believe he's on the start list for Umloop.
No, I believe not.
And little guy, I know the only reason you mentioned this little race in Turkey, the Tour of Antalya, was because of who won on Sunday.
I'm mentioning
who won today.
I'm mentioning it for 2 reasons. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to Matthew Van Der Poel MVP corner. Already, we're there. I'm going to mention a little guy named Roy Johns. Twice. He gets to be an MVP twice because this dude won 2 stages.
Yeah.
2 stages. So I believe, Tim, when I first brought him up, you were questioning his ability as a Matthew Van Der Poel MVP. Is this enough of a message to you?
Oh, man, little guy. Let me tell you a little something.
I know this was basically a Cat 3 race, but like...
I don't want to say that it's a message. Like, yes, you picked the second best rider on Matthew Van Der Poel's team.
I'm just saying he's got some help.
Let me give you the taste. Let me give you the test.
Yeah.
This is an honest test, and I appreciate the work and the journalism you've put into MVDP Corner.
Mm-hmm. It's taken minutes.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. He is on the start list for Umloop. Matthew Van Der Poel is not on the start list for Umloop.
Yeah, because
I want to see how Roy Jans does. If he gets 16th place, or something around there, then I'm all in. I'm gonna bet some internet points on this guy and get him over the hump because he seems like the real deal. So, is he your 3rd member of the MVDP corner?
Yeah, he gets to be twice. He gets to be
twice now. So now Mitch Docker and the rest of the boys in the professional peloton now have to look at that, and they actually have his start number on their top 2. On their stem, they have his number written in Sharpie.
Yeah. I think...
watch this guy.
He was already a man to watch, but I think now he is definitely a sneaky dark horse.
Mm-hmm. Because he did a race in Turkey that no one's ever heard of.
Dude, there's a waterfall in that city.
It's a pretty good point.
Yeah, I think okay, so he won 2 stages. Van Der Poel won a stage, obviously, because if Van Der Poel shows up to a small stage race, he wins a stage.
So let me, okay, just bear with me for a second here.
Oh, yeah,
Let's just look at the stage 4. Roy Jans takes first place.
Yes.
over Gianardi
We
Lenardi.
don't need to go
Nepo
into
Mini.
who he beat.
Wait, I'm not
That's
done
not
yet.
important.
I'm not done yet. Let's talk about third place, Boss Vanderkooj of Monkeytown.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, we have talked about Team Monkeytown before because it is arguably the greatest name of any cycling team in the world.
He won stage 2.
And Monkeytown, for a team called Monkeytown, the kits are very lacking for what they could get away with Monkeytown. Now,
100% agree.
Now,
It's
as
a
a-
super big letdown on the kit side.
as a dad that likes to read books to my son, little Heimar cuddles up, and one of his favorite books is Curious George, the man with the yellow hat. I like to think of monkeys when I'm reading Curious George. Can't Monkeytown maybe just do something like a Curious George, like any page of a Curious George book looks better than that kit?
It's
Like
a
there's
pretty
so
bad
much
kit.
that is possible here.
No, I agree. I'm 100% with you. I mean, it would be a bad kit even if it didn't say Monkeytown on it, but especially because this is Monkeytown, they are dropping the ball big time.
Okay, so that team Monkeytown, which we just agreed is like not a very good team because they have such an amazing team name and a horrible kit,
Yeah.
got third place. So maybe Roy Jans is either sandbagging us a little bit or he's just like the best on JV.
Hey, that's okay. You got to start somewhere. You know what I mean?
All right, Spencer.
Yeah.
I know you're a connoisseur of bike racing, and I know that Umloop is coming up
Oh,
next.
yeah.
This is when you start watching.
Yep.
This is when I kind of start watching. This is when we venture into the dark webs because I don't believe this race is on NBC Sports Network. So
No. I'll risk a virus for this one.
update your antivirus software. You're going into the deep webs
Yep.
to find a feed of Umloop.
Yep.
Who, Spencer, is the who are you going to bet on to take the win at Umloop
Oh,
next week?
that's a tough call.
Is
You
it-
know,
it's too early in the season for like an Oliver Nason.
I think so.
It
Okay.
is.
I mean, it's one of these races that's important enough that you want your semi superstars to be going well, but it's not important enough that you know your big names, your Paris-Roubaix guys aren't going to be going good yet. So and that's fine. Like that's okay. So I'm looking at that second tier, almost that third tier, like the Philippe Gilbert level of the world. Like
Ouch.
Very-
It's weird
third
that he's
tier?
third tier.
very good.
I mean, I know he's getting old, but
Very good, but not going to win the biggest races in the world anymore. Still definitely has the class to pull this off. Stibar, he could be a good pick for this week as well.
Okay.
I think he's probably looking more at the Strada Bianche, but who knows?
Strada Bianche coming in 2 weeks on
Yeah,
the
so
9th. So
soon.
this is oh man, what a classic already. But
so are you going to wager, Spencer? Who do you got who's your podium?
Oh man, I have no idea. Like, I
list
could
is
just
tough.
put a list on the wall and I'll throw darts at it because that's about how accurate this would be.
okay, so let me just Spencer,
I'm
do you
kinda with
have
you. It feels
what are
pretty
the
hard.
names that kind of pick out like right that we can hold you to account? Like what are the so you got Gilbert.
Yeah, you've got Gilbert. Let's see. I mean, pretty much anybody on Quickstep, I think you could put on that list.
Okay, so I'll give you Stybar.
Give me
okay.
Stibar. I don't think like GVA will be going well yet.
He was
Like an Arnaud Demar, he could be going well. I don't know. I don't know how he's doing, but he's in that tier of names that I would be like, oh yeah, okay. You know,
So
last year's hero Michael Valgren, that could be one to look at.
okay, I'll give you Volg.
Volgren's been
So-
riding well, anonymously but well. So far
Let me give
this
you my podium.
Okay, what do you got?
I'm kind of going like tiered out, right? And I'll just give you 3 that are just I think are going to do well, and it's just and you guys are already going to know one of them, and that of course is Thies Benoot, just because it's the classics, and Thies looked so damn good last year at the Strada Bianche. He's going to be on some good form a week before. So we got Thies Benoot
Okay.
of Red Lotto.
Okay.
I'm going to definitely go with Wout van Aert because why not? He's got to be on some good form, and what better way to perform when Matthew Van Der Poel is not in the race?
That's true.
So I'm going to go with Wout van
Strong
Aert
pick.
on on my podium, and I'm not picking out like who's going to win, just that he's going to be on the podium.
Well, it's the only time
And
he can
third-
win, so.
And third, kind of an outsider, a little bit. An outsider because he's on a new team. And that is the Belgian, I would say, kind of floating under the radar for all these years because he's kind of just been on the wrong teams. He's kind of on the old Quick-Step team. He went to Red Lotto. Then he was on BMC for 1 year last year. Now he's on Movistar, and I'm going to go with Jurgen Rollins. And I just, Belgian, he's got something to prove to the team early in the season. He's just going to say, like, hey, look, I'm here. Maybe send more than the minimum 6 riders. like, please. Like, give me the good swan year for 1 day. Don't save everything for the Grand Tours. That's my hope. Is Jurgen Rollins is going to Rolands is going to be my dark horse.
All right.
Little guy, who do you have on your podium from Umloop?
I wanted to say Christophe Laporte is going to come through. With for Confidence, I thought Laporte would maybe have it, but
Okay.
he DNF'd out of his last race. He was riding really well for a while, so maybe he's sick. So maybe I shouldn't say.
So who's your
Christophe
guy?
Laporte. I'm gonna say Rollins. I think is a good pick. I think Terpstra is gonna send a little message.
Ooh.
Okay.
Be in some serious form. I think Tim Wellens, I'm surprised he's on the start list, and I think the only reason he's on the start list is because he's going to win, and Teese and like Kirklear and stuff are just there to train at this point. Too early in the season for them. And then
All right.
I think AG2R is going to, Nason, it's too early. They're going to give Diller the chance to fully shine. Full team, team leadership. And that's my super dark horse because I have no idea. Now I'm finally opening his thing. Yeah, he hasn't really done anything this year. I think, though, he's going to do it. We know he's strong enough.
Why do we know he's strong enough?
A little race called Paris-Roubaix last year.
Okay, and what makes you think that he's going to not focus on that one again this year?
Because somebody, hopefully, when he said, I'll just do that again, they kind of slapped him across the face and were like, no, dude, come on. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Paris-Roubaix is such a crapshoot. Let's just try to win a mini classic.
Okay.
Now,
He's got
maybe
a
I just
strength.
wasn't. Maybe I just wasn't listening like normal, little guy. But I'm a little surprised that you didn't pick Roy Jans to be on your podium.
Well, I mean, that's obvious. I already basically picked it. I'm trying to pick him other guys, I don't know. I mean, like Spencer was saying, like, it's hard to know at this time of year. Some people I haven't even seen. Obviously, like, Sep threw down this last week. There's a guy named Mitch Docker on Education First, and I feel like he might be one, maybe like a dark horse.
It's possible. It's tough to pick a dark horse when every horse in the race is dark right now. You know?
They kind of are right now. I mean, in all seriousness, EF's roster is pretty ridiculously stacked with Sepp. They've got Langeveld. They've got Taylor Finney's going, and Breschel, Tom Scully, Docker, and Hoffland. Like, any one of those guys, if they got in the move, would be a strong dark horse.
Here's the thing. I think that entire Education First team, following the orders of road captain Mitch Docker, are just going to go to 16th place. Because every single one of those could get a 16th place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what... It's like if you're going to ask me who's going to get 16th place, I'm going to say I'm going to take the team of Education
That
First.
doesn't seem fair.
Well, I write the
Tim,
rules
you don't
here.
think the Gummy Bear is going to do it this year? I mean, he's on the list.
My guess is he didn't even make the plane ride over from Columbia.
I mean, he's obviously there to be punished. You don't send a guy that was once 5th in the Giro to do the first Cobble Classic of the year unless he is on your shit list.
Yeah.
Or they're getting him ready for the Hammer series. I mean, I saw the pictures. I'm hoping it's a contract year for Betancourt, so like he really ramps it up here at the end, the way Gilbert did all those years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But so Spencer,
Yeah.
16th place, and little guy 16th place, and then we'll call it a day on the Umloop preview
Man,
for men.
All right, Spencer, you go first. I got a good one, I think.
this is so impossible. I don't have a good one. This bike racing season, we've been in preseason so long that I forget that the real season is coming up right around the corner, and it has snuck up on me. I think Tim might be onto something with the Education First targeting 16th place because they are social media savvy and they know what a big win that would be for their brand. So I think I will narrow my focus a little more than Tim did and actually say I've got faith that our good buddy Mitch Docker can pull off the 16th place.
I do actually have Mitch Docker written down and then comma all of Education First, but okay, Mitch Docker. Little guy, who you got?
Obviously, it's Lars Boom. He's going to be 16th place in every single race this spring.
Cool. Lars Boom.
You guys know if you look at the KBK start list, it sort of seems almost like a fake start list. Like there's so many climbers on the list that you're like, teams were just like, I don't even care. I'll just write down jungles. Sure, we'll send them. Like, it's just like total.
Well, KBK is, of course, an important race for our hearts, and we'll get to that in a second because of Hincapie's glorious win all those years ago and the stuffed donkey. But I think that we need to give a quick review on the women's Umloop because, again, it's only 11th time that this race has happened, but they run it on the same day, and to me, that's a pretty awesome thing. And I'm going to go out and say right now, Lada is going to win for Team Trek. Like, it's just write that in stone right now. Again, she has had so many good races over the years, but hasn't had the full team support, and now she's got it. And when we're on Pro Cycling Stats here, actually looking at the start list for the women's Umloop, there are a lot of jerseys to discuss, and we really need to get Abby Mickey on here to do the jersey draft because
it's true.
There are quite a few that are amazing, and it's going to be pretty awesome. So now this will be, I believe, the first Umloop for Lada because she did not do it the last couple years with Cervelo. So like, who knows how that's going to happen? But she's done well in Strada Bianchi. So sorry, she got 4th place in 2 years ago. So I think that she has a pretty good shot of doing well here. So that is my pick.
It's a pretty good pick.
Who you got?
Based on cross-season form and just in general form and wiliness, if Mariana Voss is on that list, I'm going to pick her.
Yeah.
Well, she's not. So
Dang.
There you go. Anyways, it's going to be a good race. I'm pretty stoked. Most of the women's teams have 6 members. There are a couple that have 7 on the start list. But it is pretty cool to see. One of the things that they do in this race, which I do like seeing, is they have the World Cycling Center teams. Like they have a composite team put together from women racers of kind of the underrepresented countries. So we have like a Trinidadian, a woman from Ireland, Cuba, and I believe also from Croatia that's going to be at the start list. So it's pretty cool, and Paraguay as well. So pretty cool to see that. So check it out, the women's Umloop. Little guy, do you have a pick on your end?
I was going to say Niwadoma, but then I was like, she hasn't even raced yet this year, so sure. I'm just going to go with
Brand is still here.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
Corinne Rivera.
I just kind of figure someone's going to come out of nowhere. Someone's going to come out of like a huge mountain training camp that I'm not realizing. It's the first race. It's so hard. Someone from the Cipollini team could even win. I mean, come on.
All right.
Well, and then followed up the next day, you have KBK, as mentioned a little bit earlier. And that's always a fun race just because the prize is so good. And, I'm not going to pick winners here. This is an important one for us. And it's going to tell a lot about the upcoming season. So I think anybody that's looking to do well at Roubaix, you want probably in, the 20th place or higher? Like, you kind of want to be in that. You want to be in the group.
No, this is the idea. 16th place in these races equals podium at Paris-Roubaix, Flanders.
I mean,
this is
where Dylan Toons started.
This is where it first came from.
Yeah, Toons. KBK is Groningen Wiggins to lose, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, if it comes to a sprint, he's going to win. You can't do anything about that right now.
Well, awesome. So we look forward to some real bike racing starting up this week. And Spencer, with that, let's do some bike racing of our own. Let's go to the Preem Lap.
Here we go.
So everybody, and enjoy your Ride podcast.
right. Well, once again, we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in and checking out wideanglepodium.com, where they can learn more about our family of shows and how to become a supporter of the network. There's lots of big things happening on the network. We're just going to cut over just a couple. First off, we're available on Spotify. So check it out on Spotify. You probably got the app already running on your desktop at work there. So we're going to stream us through Spotify. That'd be fantastic. And also, you want to check out all the other shows on the network, including a new episode of the Slow Ride Reviews, which will be dropping fairly soon. We had a good spirited discussion on the variety of helmets and how Spencer is doing his best at N-1 in thinning the herd, and it kind of backfired a little bit on him when he was trying to sell a bunch of bikes because another one came right back to replace the one he was selling.
Yep.
It usually does.
So check out Slow Ride Reviews. You can also find that on iTunes or Spotify. So that's important. And we would like to thank the returning sponsor. We mentioned it last week, and that is Health IQ.
Yes.
Head on over to healthiq.com/WAP to find out how to save some money on your life insurance because you're a healthy individual.
Yes. Health IQ, it's pretty simple. Like Tim said, healthiq.com/WAP. It's going to take you right to the cycling specific section of their website. You can take a little quiz there. If you score elite on the cycling quiz, bang, you're saving money. And it's as simple as that. And you can pile on other stuff, whether it's your family history, your Strava files, how much you're riding, all that stuff. It all counts as savings. So you just stack all that up, and that's how you do it. But anyway, go over to healthiq.com/WAP to find out exactly how to do that and support Health IQ because they support us.
Besides Health IQ, we have the recurring sponsor. Once again, we partner with Grimpeur Bros Coffee.
Yes.
You can go to wideanglepodium.com/coffee to find out more. You can do a variety of like subscriptions. You can order one-off bags, a pound of coffee. Order it this week. It will be sent to you by the weekend because it's roasted fresh. We have two different blends specific to the Wide Angle Podium Network.
Yes.
Now, I like my coffee, but I'm not the connoisseur that Spencer and the little guy are. So why don't you guys take it away on the two different coffee blends that are available on Grimpeur Brothers for the Wide Angle Podium listeners?
It's my favorite sponsorship I think that we've ever had because I get the most out of it. I order the bags, I would say bi-weekly, and I just plow through this. Right now I'm working on Cyclocross Friends, which is the espresso blend. I just make that every morning in my French press, and it's awesome. Keeps me going during the day. Keeps me up late at night when we record this podcast. Yeah, man, it's Grimpeur Brothers does such a good job. I haven't had a blend from them that I don't like, but of course, I buy the Cyclocross Friends and the full Schleck because they support Wide Angle Podium Network.
And then the other great one, little guy.
Yes.
You basically named this other one, the full Schleck.
Basically. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
want to take all the credit, you guys. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I totally did.
Well, they've got everything you could want, right? So, like, for me, the full Schleck makes the most sense because you guys know me. I don't need, like, the espresso, like, pickup as much,
Sure.
right?
So you're already going
the full
way too
Schleck
hot
is
for that.
perfect. It also gets hot down here, so I tend to be a little bit more full Schlecky than you guys. Almost year-round at this point, so it's pretty exciting. And I'm stoked that Grimpeur Brothers continues to be a supporter of the network. Yep. And I also like to all the other supporters out there. We have tons of big news right around the corner to announce. We got to keep our lips sealed right now, but the fate of professional cycling is about to change forever.
That is true, and
it is very exciting.
It is extremely exciting. We're excited to break this news to you probably on the next episode. So look for that. Some exciting network news. We're putting these donations to good use when you support the shows on the network, and when you support the network, we try to do good things with it. And this one's coming, and you're gonna love it.
Oh my God. It's going to be so good. All right, let's get back to the show so the next week comes even faster.
Okay.
What up? This is Storm Skoyinch, and you're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast.
All right, guys, we are back. And last week, I was telling you I was at CABDA up in Chicago. And as I was at CABDA, I met a gentleman that drove 6 hours from Missouri. I like to think he drove 6 hours to meet me there.
Sounds right.
That was not the case.
Yeah,
That is not the case.
sounds plausible.
He came all this way to look at cool bike products, look at the new Rotor group, stare at the new SRAM group and the wireless seat posts, and a variety of other amazing things that you would only find at a bicycle trade show, usually at the outer wall, you know, things that are one-offs, and you're like, I don't know if I'm ever going to see that product again at a bicycle trade show. Kind of weird reflective materials that you put in random places on your person or different attire. Like it's great, the bicycle trade show world. This gentleman,
Okay.
a nice strong beard, comes over to the booth
Nice.
wearing a sweet Lars van der Harder shirt,
Okay.
Okay.
and
It's
he's
funny.
kind of talking to him a little bit, and he's like, I was at the foam party. I was at the Louisville 2013 foam party, and he's like, thanks so much. Great time, but I've got a problem. He's like, I listen to your podcast every week. This gentleman's name is Josh Carroll, and he says, when I was standing in the line to get inside the foam party, a gentleman was walking by and sold me my wallet. And I said, excuse me? And he goes, here, take a look at
Okay.
my wallet. And he hands me a wallet. And it was an amazing wallet. It was like handcrafted out of like duct tape and cardboard. I don't know what it was, but it was like something you would buy at a craft fest. And he's like, I bought this at the Louisville 2013 foam party line. Like in the line,
Okay.
someone was walking down selling these.
Wow.
Now, he is of the thought that the person that sold him this wallet was at the foam party. He's like, this wasn't just a street busker in downtown Louisville braving the cold trying to sell wallets. This was a gentleman that was at the World Championships selling
This is
wallets
somebody
to
who
the
saw
fans.
opportunity as it presented itself and said,
Well, if I was selling wallets and I saw Josh, I would assume that he was the type of individual that would buy a wallet from me. He looked like a wallet buying type.
okay.
Okay.
Nice guy. But this is his question. So we have the curious case of the foam party wallet here, and we must solve it. I don't know where to go, but he wants another wallet because this wallet is starting to break apart on him, and he's had it for a good 5-6 years
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's been a long
6
time.
years.
Yeah.
So if anybody was at the foam party in Louisville and knows of someone that made a wallet or sold wallets for like $10 on the sidewalk, this is not that big of a community.
Yeah.
We need to find Josh a replacement wallet.
Okay. So
They
were-
he doesn't think it's going to hold out until the next foam party.
Well, the next foam party is going to be 2022 in Fayetteville, Arkansas. This is going to happen. Like
Save
it's-
the date, folks.
Save the date. It's we've already scouted out the venues of Fayetteville, Arkansas. In fact, we got a text message from one of the promoters of the Fayetteville, Arkansas foam party or World Championships. Tim Johnson told him specifically that, hey, you need to have a foam party, and the foam party guys will take care of it in Fayetteville. And we haven't even talked to Tim Johnson since the day
That's great.
after the foam party in Louisville.
Yeah.
So that's done. Josh can't wait that long to get a wallet.
No.
The wallet was starting to break apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so,
So-
what do we know? The clues that we have are we know where and when this person was selling wallets. We know that
Yes.
they were at least aware of the foam party, if not in the foam party.
Yes. They had a captive audience outside of the biggest party in
So we've
Louisville.
got witnesses.
Yeah.
Some
Yes.
people in that line know that this happened. Okay, and if they most likely they were there for the foam party and were inside and should have some friends that hopefully listen to this show. If not, they're a local Louisville personality. There's no way that
Yes.
someone who lives in Louisville does not know who this person is if they are a local based person. Like you're like, oh yeah, oh Jimmy Wallets, yeah, of course, he's always on Broad Avenue, like selling his wallets for $10. Yeah, get one every year.
Now, Josh looks like the type of guy I would seek out to sell a wallet to.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any defining features on this wallet. It was really just kind of like this white duct tape. Like, I don't know. I should have taken pictures. But anyways, we need to find Josh a new wallet. I was super stoked. This was his defining memory of the Louisville Cyclocross World Championships was a wallet.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the fact that Sven Nys won or we had the party of the decade. So therefore, we need to pull everything together.
Do you think
He's also a great listener of the podcast. It was awesome to talk to him for a little while there at the show. So he had a bunch of other things to mention, but yeah, the wallet is key.
Constructive criticism, as it were.
Does he remember what the guy looked like, or can I just go buy some duct tape tomorrow and make a quick $10?
Well, I think that's the next step, right? Like if we can't find,
I was there. I could say that I was the guy that's holding the wallet.
I
was
think
making him in
Josh
the
is a
hotel
little bit
room.
of an unreliable witness. I would say that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he bought it while walking into the washroom and Lars van der Haar was beating his head against the concrete wall, not knowing, like, if he was going to dance to Sandstorm or not. You know, like, I think that there's a lot going on here. Very exciting. Anyways.
Okay.
That is a curious case.
Weird.
We will get the listeners on it.
Okay.
We should put something about this in the exclusive Facebook page, the official fan experience zone for the Slow Ride podcast. Get those guys on it. They are sleuths on the internet, so they should be able to sort this out post haste.
So I've got a couple of other things.
Okay.
I gotta continue. I'm sorry here. Secondly,
Yeah,
I went on a bike ride today.
it's great.
Yeah.
We talk about messenger time. We've talked about messenger time many
Oh, yeah.
times. To us, messenger time is that if the bike ride starts at 2:00, you wait until 2:15.
Yeah.
15 minutes is what we
It's the
had for
grace
messenger
period.
time.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
We
the
got a
grace
pretty
period.
long grace
Now,
period.
it's a pretty big grace period. Here in Florida, for most of the group rides I go on, if it's like a 7 or 6 o'clock rollout, maybe like 6:10, 6:05. Like,
yeah, max.
you better be close to 6 o'clock. Like, there's
Sure.
not the 15-minute grace period, a quarter of an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, today I went on a ride. It was Bob from Ocean Sun Brewing down the street. It's his birthday. The ride, stated start time was 1 o'clock for the ride.
Okay.
I showed up. Got my helmet all ready. Go inside the brewery like, hey, guys, I'm here for the ride. I was one of 3 people there. They didn't show up until 1:30 to start the ride.
Okay.
To me, that seems like a violation of ride etiquette. That was a little bit, that's pushing it. But it was his birthday, so I'll give him like,
Yeah.
but like 30 minutes.
So, Tim, I think you're correct, but you've thrown this X factor in that we cannot account for, that it's Bob's birthday. So
Yeah.
you can't put rules on somebody on their birthday.
Yeah, I know. I should have thought of this. Like, I was mad, like, when I pulled up the stool to sit at the bar for the 30 minutes, and I got there at, like, 1 o'clock. The whole time I'm just like, I'm such an idiot for showing up on time. I should have, at the minimum, gone to messenger time, and then I would have only had to wait, like, another 15 minutes.
No, that was your first
Yeah.
mistake.
Anyway, messed up. Anyway.
But I do think messenger time maybe only worked in our circle of group rides.
Yeah, I definitely, from trying to go on other group rides, I can tell you that it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Because I'm late all the time. Because I'm like, what's 15 minutes? It should be cool. And then no one's there. And I'm chasing for 20 miles.
Yeah. So
The most amazing thing is we had that huge grace period. Spencer still had to chase for 30 miles one time.
that's pretty good.
Like, that was, 1, you were super late. 2, that's commitment.
Yeah.
That was like a Spencer that was committed to putting in the miles.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom any chance of that happening now. You would be home on the couch with a freshly brewed pot of full Schleck.
Yep.
So fast. You'd be like, thank God I missed that
No,
ride.
yeah, I chased you guys through hilly terrain for like 2 hours.
It's amazing.
The,
And I
Longest
caught
solo
you.
ride you ever did.
so
Yeah.
that was, I remember that, and it was awesome when you showed up late, because I definitely went to the front to make you work a little bit harder. I had another incident that happened. I don't want to say incident, because this is a good thing. So City
We'll
of
be the
Orlando had
judge
their
of that.
bike. The City of Orlando had their bike pedestrian advisory committee meeting. It's like, oh, let's talk about where we're putting bike lanes in the City of Orlando.
Yeah.
So I marched down to City Hall. And I'm like, I'm going to be involved. I walked away from the meeting signing up for the bicycle parking subcommittee for Orlando. So
Okay.
I don't I'm kind of stoked about this. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to help put bike racks in the city. But also I'm like, is that kind of just like the convenient place to put Tim, where he's just like, go deal with bike racks? Like, no one cares. Like, you guys just go do that and
Yeah.
have fun.
Little bit.
But bike racks to me is a very important thing, right?
Yeah.
And I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
When you go to a place, what kind of bike rack do you like? Now, there's a variety of bike racks.
Yeah,
There's
lay out
the,
some
there's
options
the
for us
inverted
here.
U, right? There's like the
Yep.
classic, just
Yeah.
two, one
Hate it.
that's like a U stapled into the
Yep.
ground.
Yep.
You then have the post with like the circle that's halfway
Yep.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Love
right?
it.
You have the classic wheel bender. You have which is like you put your front wheel in, and then hopefully you can find a way to lock to it.
Yeah, those are terrible.
Which I don't know how those were ever designed.
Terrible.
Like, what a
Yeah.
horrible
You're supposed
idea.
you're supposed to scratch your down tube. That's what you're supposed to do.
Okay. And then you've got the old parking meter and street sign.
Mhm.
So
Now-
what is
now,
it that you guys? Are
You're
looking
just
for in
talking
a
about
bike
like the single style rack or whatever, and you're not talking like the big curly Q style that fits like 8 bikes on it.
rack? Yeah. So I'm looking at something
Those are
that,
kinda nice.
like, I would hope that you're putting in a rack, that's maybe like you put 2 or 3 in to fit like 4 to 6 bikes outside of a place of
Okay.
business.
Yep. So
Well, yeah, go ahead.
of the options you've presented, and I'd have to do some thinking if there's some other ones that I'm not coming to my mind right now. But I gotta say the post with the little circle on it is probably the most useful. It gives you a lot of real estate to lock to. Front wheel, frame, whatever. Like if you have the tiny U-lock, if you have a regular U-lock, or something else, like a lot of options don't work well with all different kinds of locks. Like the U kind of inverted U into the ground one, you lock your big U lock to that, and you come back half an hour later, and your bike's just laying on the ground because
Yeah,
there's so much
that's
room
true.
to move.
Yeah.
That's why I like the post with the circle on it. I'm sure there's a name for that style, but I don't know what it is. So that would be
It's like
my
a hitching
vote.
post
Yeah, it's
or
like a
something.
hitching
Okay.
post. I would get as many of those as you can all over town, just everywhere, because I have a feeling
That's-
people don't. I mean, people don't ride their bikes because they don't have bikes or they don't think of it as an option, but they're also worried about, I would say even more than having a helmet, they're worried about what do you do with your bike when you get somewhere. So just like step one is
So-
put them everywhere.
Something I've noticed here in Florida, I noticed it when I moved to Gainesville, is a lot of people bring their bikes inside businesses.
Yeah.
Like it's just like an accepted thing. Like just wheel your bike in. Like we used to get yelled at when you bring it into the lobby to thaw it out from the freewheel freezing.
Oh yeah.
and-
anywhere.
And so the bike parking to me is such low hanging fruit. That's why I kind of volunteered for this, because to me it's like you said, Spencer, just put them everywhere. Like it's not hard.
Yeah.
Like as long as ADA compatible, and you're not like impacting like the business value by like stapling it to the wall. Like there's ways to make cycling better for people, and so that's one of the things that I think is hurting Orlando a lot, because now we have all of these dockless bikes, and an amazing, like they were showing some of the data, like thousands of trips, 50,000 trips in the first month. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of people riding these e-assist bikes, but then you're like, okay, but where are you going to park the bikes?
Yeah.
Anywhere.
It's like, put them on the middle of the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
Yeah, just leave it wherever you stop.
Maybe in
So,
somebody's front yard.
anyway.
It's great.
Do you guys remember the movie Captain Ron?
Oh, I can't believe that's even a question.
Do you remember one of the early scenes when Martin Short's going to work before he decides to go get the boat, and he gets in the elevator. It's super packed elevator, trying to show you how bad the city life 9 to 5 is.
Terrible.
And there's a bike messenger gets in the elevator with their bike.
With
And
their bike?
With their bike. And obviously they're just really selling it, how terrible it is working in the city and living that normal schmuck life. But as a kid, I remember even being like, that's no way bike messengers bring their bikes into the elevator.
Are you?
Yeah,
Are you,
it's
are you
early
saying it was
in the
a
movie.
bike? Okay, so think about the tropes that have been bikes in the city on movies over the years, right? So you've got the bike messenger. That's also common in commercials. Even nowadays, you see like the messenger in the elevator. For any elevator scene, there's always like a messenger, kind of gruffy, maybe not even a walkie-talkie, just like a messenger bag. But the one that's been getting me lately, I've been seeing nonstop, is anytime they show a cyclist, it's like the arrow helmet, like with the long tail that isn't even UCI legal anymore, and the full disc wheel.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
because
the
that's,
other
that's
like
the silly. Like, look at these silly goofballs. They'll wear any stupid thing.
Yeah. The only like proper representation of a cyclist in the last 10 years is, was it Gordon Levitt in the classic movie
Jesus.
Premium Rush?
Okay.
I never saw it, but hold on one quick before.
Whoa! You never saw Premium Rush?
No, one second. I just want to say that the person who was the bike messenger in Captain Ron was C.M. Talkington. That I just want to make sure he gets his credit in case he's listening to this and he's like, "Hey, come on, man, mention my name."
Maybe he sold the wallet. So,
seeing anything else?
Little guy, Spencer,
he has
you're
actually
not
been in a few things, but not. Captain Ron is his biggest credit.
Okay. Well,
and his first
obviously,
credit.
yes.
He's actually a director of a short and a documentary.
He needs a new agent.
Of course he is. Yeah.
Spencer, you're not a fan of Premium Rush?
It's fine as an action movie. It is not fine as a documentary of messenger life.
I'm pretty sure it was a documentary of my life as a courier. I have. Now, little guy, you haven't seen it, so I'm not going to spoil anything here for you.
No, I've been meaning to watch it for
the
years.
best feature of Premium Rush is this like weird messenger vision that Joseph Gordon-Levitt has, in which he comes to an intersection and time stops.
Yeah,
and then he sees the
like
three
the Matrix.
options, like, oh, I could go left, I could go right, or I could go straight. And there's this one scene where all three of them end in a crash, and it goes back to his face, and he goes, and then he gets hit by a car.
Okay, that's not funny, man. That's never funny.
That's about.
Well,
it's
no, but
about
in
how it
Messenger
goes.
Visit, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. The ending leaves some things to be wanting, but anyways, think of Quicksilver but updated.
Yeah, I mean, it's got Michael Shannon being creepy. What more could you ask for in a movie, really?
Exactly. And you haven't seen it. Anyways,
I haven't seen it. No, it is crazy. I haven't seen it, but I just
Now-
watch Captain Ron when I want to see Bike Messenger.
we got a nice email
My dad's
this past
favorite
week
movie.
from we got an email from Jeff Anderson. Say, hey guys, listen to the Kobo episode and think you missed the point about going to the World Championships in Denmark. It was never about just one race, i.e. MVDP winning. It's all about being in the atmosphere, traveling to a different country, experiencing the people, and generally getting out of the good old USA and gaining a different perspective of things in other countries.
Mhm.
So he talks about how he went there, and it was a blast. The women's racing was awesome. The U23 was fantastic, especially in the women's field. And how the town was super special, and everyone was very, very nice. But he wants to just say, hey, guys, I don't think I mentioned that the food or all the drink tickets that everyone gives you when they find out that you're an American, and suddenly you don't have to buy a single beer at a cyclocross race, and there's enough tickets to get you through the entire weekend. I kind of like this idea. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like you come from far away, then people are just going to buy you the beers. So,
I find that
Jeff,
hard
thanks
to
for a little bit
believe.
of clarity. I think it was just more of that like kind of hangover of a cyclocross season of just Matthew Vanderpool crushing all of our dreams. And it wasn't really to take away from the Worlds. I'm sure it's a great experience. I mean, Louisville was fantastic. I can't wait
Oh,
to
yeah.
welcome the world again at Fayetteville.
I guess
So-
I'm happy to hear that he, as an American, they didn't just make fun of him when they saw him, because that's kind of what I assumed they would do.
Yeah. I will say this, that the World Championship that I will probably go to next, that I would seek out, is the recently announced World Championships in Glasgow. Did you see this? Where
because
Glasgow,
of the-
Scotland
yeah.
is basically going to host every World Championship in like September. So they're going to have the mountain bike, road, and like downhill up at Fort William all in the same kind of week. So basically you're going to have like a celebration of cycling for the week. And I actually kind of like this idea that you get all of the disciplines together to really magnify the importance of all the cycling disciplines. Here's why I want to go.
Okay.
Because I still haven't seen news yet if cycle ball or cycle artistic cycling is going to be there. Because that may, guys, be our debut for a Scottish podcast, because we could actually go there and see cycle ball in person.
I'd be into that. I'd be really into that.
I'd be really into that. And see downhill at Fort William. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of surprising they haven't integrated all the events before. It's kind of a
Don't you like
no-brainer.
this idea that they're all in the same week?
Mm-hmm. I like this idea of us going to Scotland.
It's like a cycling Olympics. You know, it's just
Exactly.
like an event all day, every day. Like you might have to overlap some events schedule wise, so you're gonna have to pick and choose where you want to be, which cycling stadium you want to be in to see the grand finales of. You know, whether it's cycle ball or downhill racing. Yeah, like something
It's gonna be
something
great.
for everyone.
Pretty excited.
Maybe they'll have a Masters
Well-
race too.
Well, thanks for Masters World Championships as well. Thanks, Jeff, for the email. Always a reminder to check out our Twitter and Instagram feeds at the Slow Ride Pod. You can also email us at the Slow Ride Podcast at gmail.com. Find us on Spotify. We're very excited to be on Spotify now. And we are on iTunes. And if you have the time, please give us a review. We'd love to read it on the air. It's been a little while since we've gotten a nice review, and we pride ourselves on all those 5-star reviews that we've gotten. But if you want to give us a 3-star, that's totally okay. It helps in the algorithm, I'm sure. And we'd like to thank Grimpeur Brothers and their support. Go to wideanglepodium.com/coffee to find out how to score some great beans. And also check out healthiq.com/WAP to find out how to save money on your life insurance because you're a healthy individual if you're already listening to the podcast. And this is Tim in Orlando.
This is Matt in Minneapolis.
And this is Spencer in Boston, reminding you to always wave at all your fellow cyclists that you see out on the road.
The Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at The Slow Ride Pod.